Hello, guys. Welcome to the Squeeze, and we are here with another episode of the Hot Juice. We are getting into as you can clearly see, the interview that happened on Good Morning America with Johnathan Majors. I don't want to take too much of your time because you know that the allegations are absolutely outlandish against this man. And I wanted to hear what you guys are thinking about what has been going on with all of this stuff in the media today. Because at most, this man should have been the one on the right side of justice. But as we are seeing now, he has been labeled a offender of a misdemeanor. He has gone through several trials and will be sentenced soon, and we'll be seeing that in a little bit here. Yeah, guys, and I hope that you guys are liking this. Anybody here knows that this is a new thing for us. We're first time going live. So I hope that you guys are liking what you're seeing. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's kind of get into it. So I'm going to cue up the first video of what was going on with Johnathan Majors right now. And as you guys can see, they started off with that BS Kang mess. And let me give you my honest opinion right now. I think that his best portrayal in all of media right now is not from Kang. He did an amazing job on Kang, but guess what? Atticus was his greatest role. And if you have not seen Lovecraft Country, it doesn't matter. Don't go and get Hulu subscriptions. Go out and buy the DVD box set, because it doesn't matter with these subscriptions and all these other kind of stuff. You don't really own anything. And if you've seen any of the things going on with Netflix, a lot of these people bought movies, and actually not even just Netflix. It's been Netflix, PlayStation, a lot of these things have taken your digital merchandise and pretty much giving you squanderedly BS. And I say that because a lot of people who have bought in digital versions of certain movies and things like that, they only have a limited shelf space on servers. So what that means is a lot of those people who bought movies years and years ago, now those movies are getting deleted from servers, so they no longer have access to what they quote unquote purchased. Okay, so I know you don't want to hear me ranting about DVDs not coming in and all of that. Well, we got a problem. I wish I had somebody on here so I could tell you what's happening with it. But let us see. I got other options. What's going on with it? I'm not sure why it's telling me we got a warning, but we're gonna go ahead and play this video. And again, so don't flag us, YouTube. We're a new stream, but we're going to review this interview. So let's get into it.
I told you, time isn't what you think.
Less than a year ago, the name Johnathan Majors was followed by talk of critical and box office success, skyrocketing fame, even Oscar buzz.
Now you see this man, he been growing.
This morning,
He really been raising himself.
Surrounds that marquee name.
Something about sitting here right now and looking at you and understanding the gravity of the situation. A situation that I, in many ways, put
And
myself
I hope
in.
nobody
The
is in the
actor
comments
spoke
saying nothing
exclusively
crazy
with
about him
ABC
wiping
News
his
for
face,
the
because
first time
going
after
through all of
being
these kind of
convicted in
trials,
late
this is
December for
really,
harassment and
really
misdemeanor reckless
tough
assault in the
stuff.
third
The
degree,
pressure,
which could carry a
I don't know if
penalty of
any
up
of
to
you
a
guys
year
have ever
behind
been to
bars.
court,
Why
but
did
the
you decide you
pressure
wanted to
is
talk about it?
insurmountable.
I felt like it was time. A lot has happened
I'm gonna crank him up.
in my personal life, in my career, in the culture. It's about responsibility and coming forward and being brave and giving my part of the story.
Your reaction to that verdict?
Shocked. I was
Because who wouldn't be shocked?
I was absolutely shocked. And
Yeah, because all the evidence that this man brought in against the plaintiff is absolutely amazing, that they could find him in guilt, but the case was against him, so they had to, at some point, figure out if there was any fault involved at all. And to this jury's discretion, they found him at fault for 4 counts of a misdemeanor. So as you guys know, this is a follow-up to what we did when the verdict came out on what was going on with Mr. Majors here. And I think that it's still absolutely outlandish that this gentleman had to go through all of these things and also was acquitted. Like, he was fired from Disney. Come on, for misdemeanors. Now, of course, they have fired other actors for similar or even worse crimes. Now, I don't think that it was necessary. Are we having all black screen? I really need somebody in here to let me know. Bear with me, guys. I'm trying to make sure that we are getting the best quality imaginable. And if we're not, I'll just record this episode and bring it back to you in a bit. You're taking forever to tell me what the error is. These options are taking hella slow. You know what I can do? Bear with me, guys. I know I don't say nobody's in here, so I'll be watching you. Okay, so definitely is telling me we got the live still going, so I'm not sure what the issues are. If anybody sees anything, let me know, because it's working on my end. Now it's slowing down. Let me give it a second. I'm seeing the lag, but I think it's a latency issue, so that way I can have a second. So not sure what's happening. But we're gonna power off all the tools, guys. Power off all the tools, because we don't want nothing to slow us down from giving you this amazing message. Again, this is my first live, guys, so I don't know if you are watching, but let me know how you're feeling about it, because the juice is in the building, and we are getting to the best of the best stuff, man. Let me close out some things. Some things are getting closed. Okay. Now let's let my man Johnathan continue.
Afraid. And I'm standing there, and the verdict comes down. I say, how is that possible? Based off the evidence, based off the prosecution's evidence, let alone our evidence. How is that possible?
But after only hours of deliberation, a jury of his
Now, as you see, and they said only hours. If anything, you would want to say that these sides were definitely cooked, that they seated somebody in there. But let's just be real. This is America at its best. They see a black man and they see a predator. They see somebody who is willing to do harm onto others. And it has been the age-old tale since we have been placed on this continent without our willing consent. Now, a lot of us will say, well, we were born here, red-blooded Americans. There was a time that I fully believed the same thing, but once you see that the country itself doesn't support you in the same way that you try to support it, you must readjust yourself. Now, I think that Johnathan Majors will make an amazing comeback from this point. They are going to speak on a lot more involving that, and I know you guys heard it in my last video. If not, we'll be linking it in this description after this live comes out. But let's let this man's video continue because it's definitely a part 2 I'm going to let you guys see.
Peers agreed with prosecutors that he did physically injure his then-girlfriend Grace Jabari in an incident last March.
What happened exactly? Do you know?
No, I don't know. But she's unconscious.
That 911 call from Majors came hours after an argument broke out with Jabari in the back seat of an SUV.
And if anybody else has been watching and has seen that name Jabari Grace Jones, y'all would have thought that her ass was black, right? And I'm not trying to come or anything, but that name just really threw me off for the type of young lady that she is herself. And I really hope that you feel the repercussions of your actions, not from any legal course of actions, and I'm not asking anybody to come jump you or anything, but I hope that you actually feel the repercussions of these actions, because you are both destroying, and what did you get out of the lawsuit? You didn't get any funds or anything like that. You are discrediting a man's name for absolutely what reason? But we'll see, because I'm pretty sure you'll come out with an interview and we'll see all about it, right? And I'll be on the case. If you guys want to see that, let me know.
Another woman saying, "Oh, how I wish to be kissing you." Jabari testified that when she grabbed the phone, Majors tried to get it back, fracturing her finger and giving her a cut behind her ear.
She says inside the car, you hit her in the face,
Yeah.
twist her arm behind her back, fracture her middle finger.
Yeah, that did not happen.
How did those injuries come about?
And I'm glad that she said it like that, because it's allegedly. She said that he did all of this. Now, if anybody here has seen the movie Thin Line Between Love and Hate with Martin Lawrence, that's the type of ish that I think that was going on here. If you haven't seen it, you should take your time. That's a movie where it goes to show. Now, the context of the movie don't have to correlate directly to what is going on with Mr. Majors here. But what I'm saying is this is seeming similar to that movie. The plot of that movie, this is kind of what's going on. You know, people start to do crazy things when either they're not getting what they want or things are changing in a manner that they are not comfortable with. Now, I don't know all the details on the inside because I wasn't there personally, but I can very much understand the circumstances through the information that is being laid out. Okay? Now let's continue.
I wish to God I knew. That would give clarity. That would give me some type of peace about it.
But you're confident you didn't
I
cause
have no
them.
question.
Surveillance video shows Majors getting out of the car, followed by Jabari, whom he then puts back inside the vehicle. What happens next is what the defense remains focused on. Majors runs off, and Jabari chases after.
And I know anybody watching this scene definitely seems wild, but the fact that he is running from her should have let you guys know that there was something amiss with that entire case, especially if he is supposedly the aggressor. Why is an aggressor being chased? It's like in all the movies now, the hunter is being the hunted. I highly doubt that. You know, most times that's not really the case. It's the hunter still doing the hunting. So if you're looking at it clearly, you can see the hunter hunting right now. I'm sorry, but she's chasing.
If you watch those videos and you reverse that, and you saw a black man chasing a young white girl down the street,
and it wouldn't have been less than anything if it was the reverse. If he had been chasing her, shoot, it wouldn't even have got that far. The person in that car door that had their door open would have been running and stopping him. They would have been like, no, don't do all of this. There would have been several people. Any man, honestly, had it been a man chasing a woman, there would have been several defenders, people to stop it and all this other kind of stuff. And I'm not telling people to stop doing that. What I'm saying is, if we want equal rights and opportunities, they should be the exact same. If a woman is chasing a man, stop her ass too. Okay? Clothesline her if you got to. Not really, don't do that. But, I mean, it gets to the point where it's that extreme because people become relentless. And I mean that in the standpoint that now the modern day Western ladies have become so relentless that you might have to knock somebody out. And that's for real. And God forbid you're the one that's actually being chased, that you do the knocking out, because you'll be even worse off. Let it be a random standby stranger. But I'm telling you guys that y'all need to stop this in the bud, because God forbid it's your own child, your own son or daughter that this is going on to, but we're sitting here acting like because he is a prominent person of Hollywood's, sphere, that, justice, real justice shouldn't be served. And I mean real justice, not this, oh, well, he is somebody of high stature, so he needs to be at fault. That's not real accountability, guys. Not at all, not even in the slightest. And I know I'm giving a lot of tangent on this, but that's how serious this particular issue is. Okay, so I'm gonna let this man continue because it's a part two.
Man crying, that man is going to be shot and killed
Instantly
in the streets of New York City.
Major's defense team
and even when I said this video, and I'm sorry for keep stopping it, but even when I put this video out, he knows for a fact that this would have been the reverse of Emmett Till, man. And I know you guys don't really know, but Emmett Till was a young boy who simply whistled at a young lady and was beaten to death like profusely because this woman tried to say that he sexually, he essayed her, okay? And with that being said, he was beaten so bad that his face was unrecognizable. So what Johnathan Majors here is saying is that if it had been the reverse, he could have been no more. It would have been no more Johnathan Majors. They would have thrown the entirety of the bus, the jail, and all the might of the white power upon him. Okay? I said it. And I'm going to let the rest of this play.
These photos, which he says show the injuries he received that night, which were deemed inadmissible in court.
How were you injured?
My injuries were, I had a scratch on my hand, from clawing for the phone. And I had a gash on at the time I had a beard. Under my beard, I had essentially a fingernail scratch on my cheek from pressure. And that bled overnight.
But prosecutors say Majors was the...
Now, somebody in the comments let me know, was that the fingernail in question still embedded in his face? Because then that's really ridiculous that we just admit that the whole fingernail is still sitting there. Now, probably it's synthetic. So, of course, they're going to be like, well, there's no DNA other than Mr. Major's DNA. You see how they try to use evidence? You would think that it just is clear, but it's a thing that is interpreted. Just so you who have not had the chance to go to court and understand what it is like, it is an interpretation of the facts, not what is true and what is not true. It is what you can make people believe is true and what you can make people believe is not true.
The aggressor. District Attorney Alvin Bragg says the evidence presented throughout this trial illustrated a cycle of psychological and emotional abuse. In court, prosecutors pointed to a previous argument during which he knocked a can.
So, and this is exactly why I have this shirt on. I know you've noticed, I popped out the S on my chest because we need some hope for our brother Johnathan Majors right now. Because what they just said was absolutely outrageous. They're saying that he has now a history of emotional and again, I don't know the ins and outs of their relationship. But the context in which you're trying to portray, you would need a long-term like view scale of that particular type of quote unquote abuse. But you're using one said occasion, which we're going to laugh about here in a second. Let me let this play.
Handled to the floor.
I completely lost my temper in that moment and threw it all on the ground. That's not something I would want my child to do, and I did that.
So he threw some things on the ground, and because of that, it's emotional and all this abuse. Now, I'm not really aware of the pressures that he has to deal with on a day-to-day basis. I'm not even understanding or knowledgeable of the stresses that he had to deal with Miss Jabari. But I can tell you from personal standpoint, from a person that has gone through and has helped facilitate anger management, that it is, when you're new to stressful situation, it is hard to just simply walk away. But it is your best bet to walk away and discern your feelings on your own, so that way these type of things aren't something that happens to you. Also, Mr. Majors, man, I really hope that you are doing better right now. I hope that you are in a better headspace. I hope that the people around you are giving you the support that you need. If not, we here at The Squeeze, we support you, and we want to let you know that we love you enough to have your back and to be on your side when we see that there is an amazing amount of injustice going against you. Now, before we get into the part 2, guys, I just want you guys to, hopefully, if you are liking this content, if you're seeing this, hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. It is absolutely free to you. We're not asking for any donations on this particular episode. Usually we do talk about some donations for my secretary that, works behind the scenes, because she works very hard and is trying to help me to bring you guys this best and amazing content that we try to bring and provide for you all. And just to give her a little bit of, helping hand, we hashtag Sangrias for Sis. And now that's just something plugging in for my own channel, but I want you guys to hear what's going on with Mr. Majors. So let me be quiet, because I'm stuttering, and play this.
I absolutely did that, and felt terrible about it.
The prosecution also played audio Jabari had recorded earlier in the relationship, where Majors encouraged her to act more like Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama.
I'm a great man. A great man. I am doing great things, not just for me, but for my culture and for the world.
Yes, you are, Johnathan Majors. I just want you to know that you are reaffirmed by someone else, because I do agree that you have been doing great things. And I believe that in the future, given the opportunity, you will continue to do great and amazing things, not just for yourself, but for the community. And I hope that you uplift new actors and other people who can use your help to get to the heights that you have obtained yourself today. This is the part I was talking about that we're going to laugh at, because what he is asking this lady, I don't think was so outlandish. Now, I know that down in the comments, you guys might say a lot of other kind of things, but he was looking for a particular type of thing, and we're going to let him get into it.
That is actually the position I'm in. The woman that supports me needs to be a great woman.
There are some who question, especially in the black community, as you're probably well aware, that people were saying, well, why was he telling this woman to be like Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama?
It was me trying to give an analogy of...
And this is the part I'm laughing at because everybody is mad because he's telling a person of non-color to be like Michelle Obama and Coretta Scott King, but those are the women that he reveres himself. And if you don't know what revere means, those are the women that he himself looks up to. Those are the type of relationships that he himself wants to foster, so that way he feels that in his relationship, he is both pursuing his goals and in a relationship that fosters those goals and helps him to succeed. Now, I know that a lot of you ladies will be like, well, why does she have to be up under his thumb? It's not about that. It's what he's comfortable with. Why are you mad about what it is he wants? If that is what he wants, then listen, ladies, he's a successful man. Let him have that. Okay, if you don't want to be that woman for him, you don't have to be. He's not looking for you. He's looking for the woman he is looking for. And hopefully now he's found it.
Of what it is I'm aspiring to be, you know, these great men, Martin, President Obama, and trying to give a reference point to that. One of the things I also say is, like, I need her, in that case, Grace, to make the same sacrifices that I am making.
In a statement to ABC
And
News,
I wanted to say, Mr. Majors, if you had me there, I would have said not very much sacrifices. It was honestly compromises, because you're not sacrificing much to be with her, or she wasn't sacrificing much to be with you. It was a compromise of time, energy, respect, and boundaries. Okay? Now, I know that, of course, it seems as though you feel that you were wronged because of the fact that you relied upon this lady and tried to, let her know what it is that would be appropriate in that relationship, and it was used against you. And what I would say is, instead of letting them know what it is that you want from them, you should have been in a better process of vetting what it is that you wanted. And just seeing that if she wasn't particularly giving it to you, just have in that relationship, point blank, period. Now, I know that with whatever energy that young lady had, it might not have been that simple, okay? Now, I know you see here that they're talking about accountability, and that's a major standpoint here, and I think that is absolute BS that they're trying to say that Mr. Majors is not taking accountability. I think at the forefront, he has taken the most accountability for what has been going on. But who am I to judge other than a YouTuber and many other various hats that if you guys happen to subscribe and watch the channel, you'll find out here. But let him finish.
an attorney for Jabari said in part, "It is not at all surprising that Mr. Majors continues to take no accountability for his actions," adding, "The timing of these new statements demonstrates a clear lack of remorse for his actions."
Do you feel you're not responsible for her injuries at all?
I shouldn't have been in the car. I shouldn't have stepped out of the relationship. I shouldn't have been in the relationship. If I'm not in the car, none of this is happening.
Ooh, he just said something real important. Excuse me. He shouldn't have been in that car. He shouldn't have been dealing with her. He didn't even need the relationship. Did I not just say it before? Now, all of this is, I'm watching this live with you guys. So, again, this is beyond me, man.
Happening. If I leave the relationship, none of this is happening. If I'm man enough or brave enough to say, I want to see somebody else, or I'm done now, I'm not in that car. Mm-hmm. We're not here.
You're not.
I'm
let's get into this number two. But before we get into number two, I hope that y'all see the genuineness on this man's face, because even at other interviews, you see he's in a place where he's smiling and stuff like that, and his smile is absolutely radiant. I'm not no homo, man, because I'm not, and Please don't flag me, guys, because I myself am just admiring another gentleman, and I just need to say it because in my community, we don't just say, properly nice things to other men without there being a particular point of pause, because you need to just say that, okay? But what I'm really trying to get at is that this man has taken away the radiant smile that he usually portrays in his typical interviews, because he's usually in a better space. And if not at the beginning, he might have gone to tears several other times. Now, I don't know if you guys know, they only gave snippets of this interview. It's only about, I think, two. It's supposed to be. So on YouTube you can find 2 6-minute videos, but there are. It was a 30-minute interview released on the television today, and I believe in 2 days' time they're going to release the entirety of that episode. And I hope that you guys see it, or even if you don't see it, we're going to be doing another live with it. Hopefully we can do it live. When it comes out, I'll drop it live as soon as I see it. But let's jump into number 2. I'm sorry. I'm over here going on another tangent, and now you guys are like, well, we don't want to hear all that. We don't want to hear that, Money Mike. Oh, and yeah, so also look out for, we're going to be talking, actually, I'm going to do a live with the most viral interview of the year already, Cat Williams. This man has already taken the world by storm. I think that video is already probably at this time, which is now, it's a new day, guys. It's January the 9th. It's about 50 million views, man. So let's. God, us with an ad. Sorry, didn't mean to destroy your ears.
Very hard and very difficult and confusing in many ways.
Johnathan Majors breaking his silence just weeks after a Manhattan jury
You
found
see him walking
guilty
with his new girl. I hope y'all see that. And she over there watching him and
misdemeanor reckless assault and harassment of his ex-girlfriend Grace Jabari. The act.
And if it's not the old tale, the fall of a black man. And I'm gonna say this in other terms, but it's a Delilah. She over there, Delilah ended up, and he wanted him a Coretta Scott or a Michelle, but he got him a Delilah. If I'll be damned if that's not the story for damn near all of us. I even had my own Delilah, and I am glad I am on the other side. Believe you me. Now, granted, for me, all of this stuff was quite the opposite. And if you guys are interested in hearing that story, please let me know down in the comments, because I don't have a problem sharing it with you, because the legal records will show I was on the up and up, and I always will be. I'm going to let my man Johnathan Majors finish this.
Actor at times emotional.
Sorry. I haven't.
What was I saying?
I haven't seen my daughter in a long time.
Whoa.
And
see, that's some information I did not know, Mr. Majors. See now, through these allegations, he is no longer able to see his daughter. Didn't even know he had a daughter. Again, more love and blessings and prayers go out to you, Johnathan Majors, because that is absolutely, that on top of all the stuff that you're already dealing with, I know that now the pressure is beyond something that you just take as a joke, man. I really hope that you are being supported, though.
A lot of it has to do with this situation.
In a split verdict, Majors was found not guilty of 2 other misdemeanors, assault with intent to cause physical injury and aggravated assault.
And if this is not the face of a man that's truly been, like, had the floor swept up under the rug by somebody he, really, like, this is betrayal. This face is the face of somebody who's been betrayed. From somebody who definitely didn't expect what was going on to be what is going on now.
Assault. They're saying you didn't intend to injure her.
Right.
But the result of your recklessness injured her.
Recklessness.
Were you reckless?
I was reckless with her heart.
Now, Not with her body.
Not with her body.
The physical altercation started inside an SUV after Majors received a suggestive text message from another woman. Hours later, after Majors placed a 911 call, police found Jabari unconscious on the closet floor in their apartment, as seen in this body camera footage.
You feel that you did anything wrong on the night of March?
So now I'm not an investigator, but tell me down below, did anybody see any videos with this young lady's finger broken? I'll even wind it back because even when she's laying on this ground floor, you don't see no broken